Gerakiteys is an ideator and an innovation enabler, consulting with entrepreneurs and organisations to strategise, prototype and iterate innovative products and services. Christina travels the world seeking ways to do things better, smarter and faster. She has written business development and innovation programs, conducts workshops and facilitates strategic planning meetings and conferences. Her purpose is to ignite and encourage creativity and innovation to maximise productivity, collaboration and workplace happiness. Welcome, Christina. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
Could you tell us about the journey that led you to start your own business?
Certainly. So I actually worked for organisations for quite a while, and my husband had always been going, why are you doing this for someone else? Why aren't you doing it for yourself? And there was a series of synchronous events, which would be a good name for a book further down the track, I'm not sure, that actually led me to go, okay, that's enough working for other organisations. And the organisation I'd been there part-time, full-time for 15 years, I think, and had been very blessed with having entrepreneurial roles. But then to step out and do my own thing, do my own business, as you know, is a big step. So it's that leap off the edge and see how it goes. But I had enjoyed working in the innovation space, and that's the space that I created the business in. So creativity and innovation have always been part of my background. So to be able to then go, okay, you know what, it's time, and to actually almost, things happen in life, I believe, for very good reasons, and it was almost like shove out the door. So it was a blessing that led me to create my own business around the things that I was loving, and that's the space of creativity and innovation.
Christina, why is innovation vital for businesses?
Holly, I think innovation's crucial for business, and just to define what innovation is, because some people get scared of the word, although it's been bandied around quite a lot lately. Innovation for me is small useful change, or it can be small useful change. It can be anything that's ultimately disruptive. So we've had lots of examples of disruption, but for me, small business particularly, doesn't need to be wondering about how they're going to take on the next Airbnb or the next, Uber or etc., because they're quite commonly used examples for businesses that have disrupted quite largely lately. But for me, it can also be small useful change, and I guess that's my sweet spot with business. I really like to go in and go, hey, you don't need to make huge changes. You don't need to invent the next hovercraft. How do we streamline things? How do we make things better? How do we create a better workplace? How do we make your leadership challenges easier? How do we get everybody involved in strategic planning? How do we get everybody to take ownership? And that's where then the magic starts happening, where people actually start thinking innovatively, and they think of new ways, they think of business improvement methods. And that's not to say that I don't get a buzz out of working on the big stuff as well, but it's really encouraging for small businesses if they think about it as pure business development.
Did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I think so. So I guess I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather, I like to say, invented chop tops. My uncle invented the first talking books, and those machines where people blow into after they've had open heart surgery and things like that to build lung capacity. My uncle actually came up with the first ping pong version of what that was. So I guess if it can be genetic, it is. But I've always loved new challenges. I've always loved finding new ways of doing things, new ways of improving things. Even when I was working in organisations, finding ways to do things better, do things different, and particularly give people hands-on, real-life, personal development and growth experiences. So yes, I think so.
What do you attribute your success to?
It took a while to get there, and it also depends on what your definition of success is. So for me, success is taking pleasure every day in what I do. And like yesterday, for example, I think I started emailing at 4:30 in the morning and I got to bed at about midnight, and there weren't many breaks in the middle. So in order to be successful in business as an entrepreneur, I think you need passion, tenacity, determination. You need a good idea to start with as well. And I think as long as you live in authenticity and you live by exactly what you want to achieve and what your values are, then I think success in business is a little easier. And that's not to say that everybody who is successful in business gauges that by making $1 million at the end of their first year and $5 million at the end of their second year, and that six-figure funnel thing that we're always reading about. I think if you're happy with what you're doing, you can live the lifestyle that you want to live. and you want to achieve things for other people. So for me, that's a big motivator, and I guess that's why I was in an organisation, and that's what I try to do working with companies and businesses now, is to actually genuinely help people achieve what they want. And I think that makes it easier. I don't think being in your own business is ever easy, but it's so rewarding and so wonderful and inspiring. And when you see those faces sometimes when they've made when they've cracked something or they've had a significant achievement, that there's just no reward. I think I'm going to cry. My kids reckon I cry really easily. There's no reward past that. There's just that it's amazing.
And to finish today, Christina, what local entrepreneur do you find inspiring?
Holly, that was a really tough question because there's several that I find really inspiring. And in fact, I find any local entrepreneur inspiring because I know they've all jumped off the ledge at some point in time, and they have taken a risk and they've put their heart and soul into whatever it is that they want to achieve. So there's quite a few. Obviously my colleague Heidi, who I do lots of work with, I find what you do absolutely rewarding. I think and I guess for me it is if we could all support each other. I think the things that Kim Cherie Davidson is doing at the moment are wonderful. The things Tina Moore is doing with her dance, taking her dance to women who aren't dancers. I think that's fantastic in giving people an outlet there. So there's lots of local entrepreneurs, and I just rattled off a whole lot of female names I know, but I guess that's where sometimes the greatest jump, the greatest leap into being an entrepreneur is, particularly for mumpreneurs that are all coming up at the moment as well. And I find that, they actually solve real world problems. So I had Jennifer Holland last week, actually a couple of weeks ago, come and talk to the Rippler group, and her story is absolutely inspiring, and the synchronous events that led her to be on Shark Tank, that then led to the American investors in her company and distributors. I think the fact that she has 4 small children, and that she was meant to be at the Top Shots breakfast. And she rang me the day before and she said, look, I've been offered a spot on the Today Show. And I went, you've got to go, you've just got to go. And she emailed me that night, she texted me that at 11 o'clock that night going, the kids aren't going to sleep, I can't send you the video I was going to send you. So I think anybody and she takes them with her, wherever, so they travel as a family. So I think there's quite a few local entrepreneurs that I so admire. Melissa Eddyveen's another one from Bondi Chai. I think I could potentially keep answering this question and I might just stop.
Excellent. Thanks so much for your time today.
Not a problem. Thank you.